Breast cancer affects millions of women in the United States as the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths. Black women are especially at risk of developing and dying from breast cancer compared to women of other races. Early detection can improve treatment outcomes and save lives. Mammograms are a powerful tool in the detection and fight against breast cancer. A mammogram is a quick X-ray that can identify abnormalities in the breast long before they can be physically felt. Every woman aged 40 years and older is entitled to a free mammogram under the Affordable Care Act every year. Make mammograms a priority in your healthcare routine. It's a small step that can have a huge impact on your health. Let's work together to empower women.
I'm going to call it, look, we are a Big Ten. We are a coalition. The other side is a cult. We are an actual party. We are a coalition in Big Ten. And I believe that we are aligned in our core values and vision for this country. I think we have different ideas at times about how to get there. So I do not believe this is the time for us to moderate our aspirations. That's it. I think we need to continue to advance solutions that are as bold and go as deep as the hurt. That was proven in this election cycle that progressive policies are still popular. Whether you're talking about abortion access or unionization efforts or a living wage throughout the country, when those questions were on the ballot, they won. So I worry that there are some members who might reflexively buy into this shallow punditry that we lost because of social issues. I just reject that. And I do think that Democrats win when people feel the impact of our policies. Not because they read a press release, but because they feel the impact. Student debt cancellation, a child tax credit, things like that. So we have to continue to advance policies that go as far and as deep as the hurt.
Congresswoman, you said at the beginning that the Senate squandered their opportunity with the government shutdown and the CR.
Yes.
Do you think that Chuck Schumer should step down from leadership?
I think that we are never going to win if we cave before we even get started. I mean, the American people understand that we're governing in the midst of a Republican trifecta. They understand that we're not going to win every fight, but we do have to actually fight. And you can't squander. We have to be demonstrating that we are leveraging every tool available to us. Did you hear that, mother? And how desperate she is for her daughter who's abandoned in another country by this government? People want to see us fighting. And I think what Chuck did was unacceptable, and it was a betrayal to the people of this country. Hakeem Jeffries, our House Democrats rejected that partisan bad faith bill that was going to cause a lot of harm, and there was a narrative that there was a binary choice that was a false one, that it was between a Republican ripoff, massive cuts to essential programs and services, lifelines for people, or a Republican manufactured shutdown. And that's not true. The choices were a Republican manufactured shutdown, which no one wanted. Look, I came into Congress under a partial government shutdown under the first Trump occupancy. Nobody wants that hurt. It is a tsunami of hurt for everyone that you dig out from for generations. But the other option was a stopgap 30-day spending bill that was on the table that Democrats were ready to vote for while we continue to negotiate for a bipartisan spending bill. That was a partisan spending bill. So I think it was a concession. People are exhausted, and we need to be exhaustive. And that did not happen there. I stood shoulder to shoulder with Leader Schumer in front of the Department of Treasury, fighting on behalf of federal workers. And at the end of his remarks, he raised his arms and said, "We will win," not by doing things like that.
Some of your colleagues have specifically said that he should step down. Do you agree with them, or?
I think I've expressed my grievance and disappointment with how we acted. I hope people learn the lesson. Listen, we're experiencing something we never experienced in our lifetime, okay? Like I said, the rhetoric's hitting different, the policies are hitting different, we have to move different. There's muscle that we're building in real time. I haven't always been pleased with how we moved from the earliest days of this second Trump presidency. But I think Democrats, at least in the House, we are finding our footing right now. We are moving in the right direction. The American people are seeing us as the fighters that we are for the health and the safety of their family, for federal workers' livelihoods and lives. And again, this is bigger than Democrat versus Republican at this point. This is about right versus wrong. And Democrats are on the right side of history, and that is in the House and the Senate. I believe that to be true. So I think there's time to learn the lesson and to course correct.
We'll go to Laura at the Boston Globe.
Hi, how are you? Were you expecting to see this? I would actually like to defer to you because I know you have a question.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Just if you have a comment about Kitty Dukakis.
Oh, yes, Kitty Dukakis. What an incredible role model in authenticity, transparency, vulnerability. Bringing her own lived experience. I mean, now these are things that we take for granted that are sort of part of the political discourse that people will share. Elected officials will be transparent about their struggles, but that wasn't always true. So I see her as a pace setter, a trailblazer in so many ways, an incredible first lady, a champion in combating substance use disorder, a champion for mental health awareness and so many other issues that people live with. So my condolences to the Gov. I was with him recently, actually, at the celebration of life services for Flash Wiley, and it was good to see the Gov out.
I heard you say earlier that you're just worried that you cannot do enough. And can you talk about that fear? And because the question that I heard asked of people is, what can their congressperson do? And they want to know what they can do. And so I wanted to hear you talk more about this fear that you discussed, that you feel a little powerless.
Well, what it is that we're in a very dire situation, and what people are grappling with, what they're confronted by, is urgent. And our solutions, they are there. Again, litigation, legislation, agitation, mobilization, we are doing all of them. The Republicans are flooding the zone, we have to flood the zone in the same way. As I said, we have to be exhausted because the American people are exhausted. And so the fact that their needs are urgent, but our solutions are more procedural, does leave you feeling that you're woefully coming up short only because I can't immediately fix it. As an elected official, I want to offer a balm, a salve, if you will, for that which ails you. Community is one way that we do that in this moment. And so I hope people are leaving here feeling encouraged and feeling hopeful. But I wish that I could alleviate every frustration, every fear, and distill a linear path forward. But we are just in a moment that we've not experienced in our lifetime. So that's why I'm doing a lot of reading about movements, about tyrants, about dictators, so that I can be vigilant and creative in this moment. But it is unprecedented. And so what it demands of us is unprecedented organizing, is unprecedented mobilizing, agitating. And this might sound hokey, but unprecedented hope too. And so this is why I continue to seek community, because that's what's fortifying me in this work. But I just want to make it all right. I'm going to do everything for that mom, that federal worker whose daughter is stuck in another country because of Donald Trump's cruelty and complete cluelessness about the work of USAID, and her daughter is abandoned in another country. I'm going to do everything I can for her. I just wish I could make it all right tomorrow.
Avery, Bay State Banner.
You mentioned earlier this idea of matching their energy. I was hoping you could give some clarification around what your vision for matching the other side's energy is in this moment.
Yeah, it's again, I think the Democrats, we're finding our footing. I mean, I didn't talk about it here, though I should have, that Republicans have been instructed by their leadership to not even do town halls because they don't want the optics. You know, everything is like a reality show for these people. They don't want the optics. They don't want the backlash. Democrats are now doing town halls in Republican districts because we're all in this country together. We have to have a stakehold in each other's futures, freedoms, destinies, and we're willing to go there and be 10 toes down and hold ourselves accountable to whatever questions they might have, to whatever grievances they may have, frustrations or upset, because that's what you do when you're in these roles. So that's an example. The tours that you see happening throughout the country, the Stop the Oligarchy tours, these town halls, these teletown halls, we're getting much more nimble in this rapidly building communications ecosystem that we're building. Democrats have, we've found our footing, but we have to continue to do that and more. So we have to match the energy. No days off because they're not taking any in their harm. We can sleep in shifts, but we have to remain vigilant.
Austin 25. Anything on your end? Okay. Claire,
Yes.
LaPointe.
Yeah, thank you so much. One of the things that have happened is that even in some of those Democratic town halls, people were very angry at their representatives. I was in one in Maryland a couple of nights ago, and people were yelling at senators in full male suburbs in that hall. And do you understand this anger from the base?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as I said, because even though the Democrats do have a strategy, a defensive strategy, and litigation is the first leg of that three-legged stool, if you will, and we are winning a number of those cases, it takes time. And people feel such a fear and uncertainty, such a vulnerability and fragility in this moment that they too want us to be able to fix it quickly. This is just this is a part of the territory. This is what goes along with it. I'm not ever going to talk anyone out of their experience. We have to hold space for it, actively listen, and it's okay to even be uncomfortable because that will ensure that we never are complacent because we have to remain vigilant as well. I mean, listen, it is a lot. Their strategy is an effective one. They are flooding the zone. But as I said, I'm feeling encouraged in this moment about the direction that we're moving, and I think people are waking up to why we are in this moment of crisis, whose fault it is, and we have to make them wear it. We have to make the Republicans wear it at every turn. Even that shutdown that was averted, we were at the brink of a shutdown because of them. So it has just been chaos with more chaos.
There have been talks about a Democratic Tea Party
This will be
in
the last
Boston. Sorry. What would that look like if the
Oh, I don't
party
know.
had-
I'm not familiar with that. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Breast cancer affects millions of women in the United States as the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths. Black women are especially at risk of developing and dying from breast cancer compared to women of other races. Early detection can improve treatment outcomes and save lives. Mammograms are a powerful tool in the detection and fight against breast cancer. A mammogram is a quick X-ray that can identify abnormalities in the breasts long before they can be physically felt. Every woman aged 40 years and older is entitled to a free mammogram under the Affordable Care Act every year. Make mammograms a priority in your healthcare routine. It's a small step that can have a huge impact on your health. Let's work together to empower women.
Black men, we stand tall, we lead, we protect, we show up for our families, our communities, our people. But when it comes to our own health, too many of us stay quiet. And that silence, it's costing lives. Here's the truth. African American men are twice as likely to die from prostate cancer. Twice. But listen, when caught early, it's 98% treatable. That means getting checked isn't just about you. It's about being there for the ones who need you most. Fellas, if you're 45 or older or have a family history, it's time. The exam is fast, simple, and it could save your life. Strength isn't just in what we do, it's in the choices we make. Don't wait. Take control of your health today.
Every day, school buses safely transport our children, but only if drivers follow the law. Flashing lights and a stop sign on a bus mean you must stop. Passing a school bus in this situation isn't just illegal, it's dangerous. Children's lives are at risk when drivers ignore this signal. Protect them by stopping, no exceptions. Failure to stop has serious consequences. Do your part for safety and your community. Flashing red lights on a school bus mean you must stop immediately. It's the law. It's about safety. It's about lives. We've all been there, running late, feeling the pressure, but at what cost? Speeding contributes to nearly 1/3 of all fatal car crashes. Every 10 miles per hour over the speed limit doubles your risk of a fatal crash. Speeding isn't just risky, it's deadly. It reduces your reaction time and magnifies the impact of every collision. Families are forever changed by one bad decision. One moment of speeding can mean a lifetime of regret. The faster you go, the longer it takes to stop. At high speeds, every second counts and can cost lives. Respecting speed limits saves time, money, and lives. Reckless speeding can cost you tickets, insurance hikes, jail time, or worse. Speeding doesn't just endanger you, it endangers everyone around you. Speed limits aren't a suggestion, they save lives, yours and others. Slow down. Arrive alive.